There's so many sexless men, and that's just not healthy. What are they doing wrong?
They're doing a lot of stuff wrong. They need to get their health sorted out, get their finances sorted, and miraculously, if you start making more money, you start hitting the gym looking good, you might start feeling more confident. You might start walking around with more self-esteem. Okay, that is contagious. Women can smell that on a man.
Don't wake me, I'm not dreaming. Past lives couldn't ever hold me down, lost love.
I don't know when we're finally going to realize that more and more men are single because they want to be single. Because they've built up their lives. They like their day-to-day routine. They buy what they want and can afford. They spend time on whatever hobby they enjoy. But what they don't want is making the mistake of sacrificing those things for something less than what they already have. And I get it. We've heard that women are raising their standards. But ladies, men are too.
Be honest with me. What is the real reason why you're single right now?
I think I'm going to speak for all men in this video, and I'm going to do that by using a flow chart of what has happened to me. So let's jump right in. So here's little baby us. Okay, and then at some point in our childhood, we're going to go through something that's going to happen to us, which is going to then cause us to bottle up our emotions and learn to deal with it. Then, somewhere years later along the way, we're going to meet pretty girl number one. Pretty girl number one is going to make us feel trust again, in love and cared for, which will then lead us to open up about our emotions. Okay? And once time goes by and you spill all the beans to her, she will inevitably cheat on you. Okay? And these little arrows here show how she's going to use all your insecurities and trust issues and mental health to then throw it back in your face and make you seem like the bad guy and make you feel like shit about yourself. Okay? That will then cause us to self-sabotage and be upset, okay? We will self-sabotage every relationship going forward, okay? We're going to go to alcohol and money and fast things like motorcycles. And in the very end, we will never trust a woman again. So that pretty much is the Spark Notes version of it. That lays out everything you guys need to know. Girls, hope you got it. Boys, got your back. I'll see you next time.
I know this to be true for so many men, but for the women that are listening to this, they will absolutely say, well, women go through a similar thing, right? They go through hurt where a man has hurt her, but that doesn't allow her to hurt future men back, right? But there is a key difference in the experience of what a man goes through and what a woman goes through. And so I want to highlight it because this man, he touched on it. And that key difference is that a man is made to feel like the bad guy, all right? Even though oftentimes it's either the woman or it's a combination, right? It's both of them. They both have parts within the demise of that relationship, but the man is made to feel like he's the bad guy. And it's very infrequent where a woman is actually made to feel like the bad guy, like socially, publicly, and just between the two of them. And that is why a man will go through the process of bottling up and he won't open up and he will turn to some of those other things that helps him cope. So yeah, ladies, for a lot of men that are single, it's because of how he's been treated. Tell me I'm wrong.
There are more single men without kids than there are single women without kids. Yet the narrative online would make it seem like it's men out here that got kids and it's hard to find a man who don't have baby mamas. No, it's actually more in reverse. I always say the loneliest person is a single man. Yes.
In what universe?
In general, there are much more lonely men. And the loneliest person is a single man, not a single woman. Because again, if that single woman tomorrow decides, I want a man's attention, she can do a few things to make it happen ASAP. I don't care who she is. That man does not have those same avenues.
And you saying they're not getting no action, Jackson?
None.
Wow.
Here is why intelligent men stay single. At work, being logical is rewarded, but that doesn't work with dating. Women want to feel emotions. This means flirting, telling stories, and making her laugh. Only when you stir her emotions can her attraction for you grow.
Third of men, 33%, a little over a third, of men between the ages of 18 and 29 are not only single, but they're not actively looking for a partner. The same study said that by the year 2030, that 45% of women between the ages of 20 and 45 will be single. So I've got a question for the men, because I see it all the time in my comments. Most of my comments are filled with guys saying we're done. We're not looking. We like our peace. I need some more talk from you guys. Tell me why you're done.
This has everything to do with a man's desire for peace, because men are expected to give within a relationship. But then the second that he needs something or he's vulnerable, he's made to feel weak. And instead of finding out that he does have a ride or die kind of woman, he finds out that he really just has a woman that was only there for what he provided to her. And that hurts, leaving men to only want to put that effort into themselves and instead creating a life that is full and peaceful on their own.
There's a lot of dudes that struggle with that, man. Just not really getting anything at home from their wives and doing a whole bunch of work. Imagine having to do that for 30, 40 years with nobody to say, not even thank you, not even a pat on the back. And in fact, they tear you down. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to protect for that? Who wants to provide for that? I feel like that would be a miserable existence, man.
You want to know why most good men remain single, myself included? It's because all of us have had times in our life where we're doing perfectly fine on our own. We're financially set. We're living life on our own. We don't need anybody. But they happen to come into our life, make us feel like maybe this is the one time that she's going to make me feel special. Say things like, you're a catch, you're my dream man, you're so this, you're so that, I can't believe I found you, I can't believe I'm so lucky to have you in my life. Only to do what? To push him out of your life and act like strangers. The same thing you were before you met. So why even bother me? Why even bother that man? Why? Good men, like myself, it's not that we can't get a woman, it's because every time we try, we're shown exactly why we're better off alone. And instead, these women want to go after the guy that doesn't want them.
Men need to stay single because majority of these women are not worth your time. These women be having all these standards telling you, you got to do this, you got to do that, you got to jump through all these hoops and hurdles to get them, knowing dang on well these are unrealistic expectations. And you know what? You could thank social media for that, because all these women have all these thirsty dudes in their DMs, all these simps that's all on these dating apps, telling them what they want to hear, telling them all these things, and they get the big head thinking that, you know what? Well, all these dudes want me, so you know what? I am going to raise my standards. Don't be focused on them. Just stay single, focus on yourself, build yourself up, because I'm telling you right now, if you go out here and try to live up to these women's standards, you will lose.
This is one of the most hilarious quotes I've ever seen on this website. Make sure you leave a like on this video and subscribe so we can keep bringing these folks to light daily.
Modern feminism is ruining women. They don't want families. They don't want... Listen to me. I will never be able to afford a house. I am about to lose my health insurance because I make too much money now. The 40-hour work week was structured around the assumption that you would have somebody at home doing your domesticated labor for free. Cooking, cleaning, childcare. Even despite currently living in an economy that requires a 2-income household just to be comfortable. The upper class all organize to prevent affordable housing from being built in the first place. The only war that there is a class war. You are not frustrated with feminism or women. You are frustrated with late-stage capitalism.
My name's According, and if you enjoyed this, leave a like on it and subscribe or follow for more.
What I noticed lately is that a lot of men rather stay single because they're tired of giving their everything and ending up with nothing. Do you guys agree with that?
This is 100% the truth. Girls really don't value anymore what men bring to their lives. The world now has become primarily about material. There is always somebody else that can provide better material. Because of this, there's no real reason to cling on to one person or another. There's always somebody better, right? This, of course, is only if you define somebody by what they provide in the material world. The harsh reality, of course, is this. Most people really don't deserve or need that much material. Just because you feel that you deserve something doesn't mean you actually do. Your life will eventually show you that reality one way or the other. Since girls always have a shoulder to cry on, they may not realize it ever.
It's true. Women will reduce you down to, well, you only pay this or you only do that. I can do that by myself now. And when a man tries to say, okay, well, I can bring these other skills, those skills aren't up to my standard. I'm looking for you to be a prince. I'm looking for you to be a king. I'm none of those. I'm just a normal, everyday guy. I'm an average guy. I don't do anything wrong. I stay out of trouble. I pay my bills. I'm a good, upstanding citizen. I don't know what else you want. It's not good enough. Maybe for somebody else, but not for me. If everybody, including the not so good looking women, and there are some women, let's clarify that too, because there are some women that look good, but they're not even worthy of an average man. Their heart is terrible. Their mind is terrible. Who they are as people is terrible. You think because you look good, then you deserve a high status, as you call it, man. You think because you look good, you deserve some cream of the crop. And you don't. You don't deserve any of that. You deserve lemons. You deserve the worst of the worst. Unfortunately for you, I hate to say that, but that's the way that you act. That's the way that you treat people. And at some point in time, when a man says, okay, I'm giving this, what do I get back in return? Well, if you have to ask that question, then, you're not a real man. Or if you can't see the intrinsic value of me and my presence, then you're not a real man. It's just a bunch of nonsense.
I get asked a lot if I'm nervous that I'm 32 and still single. And honestly, I kind of feel it the most when I'm like emotional. So I'm either like on my period or something, and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm never going to find the love of my life. I'm so lonely. Nobody's here to cuddle me. But that's also by choice, right? It's by design. Like, I don't want to just cuddle any guy that's available, because the list of men in line is very different from having a roster. I don't have a roster, but there is a line, But also, pause for a second. When do you see relationships that you're kind of envious of, that you're like, oh, I would want that? Few and far between. Like, very rarely. I can think of like maybe one relationship or two at most where I'm like, oh, I would like to have that. Most relationships I see are toxic, or there's just people that don't know how to let each other go, or people that are settling, or they're just unhappy and they're like so used to being unhappy that they can't actually see what's wrong with them, but like everyone else sees what's wrong with them. I don't want to be in that. I feel like my only family in the future that I get to choose is my husband. And I know I'm a catch. So I think I'll wait it off a little bit, and yeah, I'll have my once a month freak out because I'm lonely and want to cuddle. But I think I'll be okay. But thanks for the concern.
And put your pin in me. Do you like my curves? Then work up the nerve, just kind of.
I don't think we talk enough about how the vast majority of problems we experience here in America and around the world are literally due to a handful of men who are incompetent, who are ego-driven, and because people didn't laugh with them, instead they laughed at them. They were jokes. They were social pariahs. They were individuals that only became popular by the sheer fact of they may have been slightly smart, had access to some capital, and was able to capitalize on someone else's idea. That is literally the vast majority of wealthy people in this country and around the world, but wealthy men specifically. And we are all falling victim to the fact that the vast majority of them did not get laid until after they became somewhat popular through having access to money and power. But the women that they actually wanted and who they left their wives for eventually were women that would have never associated with them until they got money and power. And because none of us laughed at their jokes, none of us invited them to the party, they're now trying to wreak havoc on our society. Like Elon Musk is literally a man who got gender affirming care, right? To look more attractive. And yet he is ranting and raving about transgender folks. Like, be for real.
So it's the man's problem that women, just the man's problem, totally. That women decided, he was a bum. He was corny back in school or wherever he came from. But now that he has money, he's really, really attractive. That's the man's fault. We're saying, you know what? You guys laughed at me. I'm going to figure out a way to get back on top. And then after that, you're going to get on top of me. And a woman says, yeah, you have enough money. Definitely going to be that. That's the man's fault. That's the man's fault that the woman can be bought. I see where you're going, but where's the accountability at for women?
I'm going to tell you guys something. There is nothing better for me. There is nothing better than being able to be a 100% honest, open book with my mother. I tell her everything. She knows everything that happens in my life. The good, the bad, and the ugly, okay? And some of it's fucking ugly. Do you know what I'm saying? But it feels so like I'm just like able to talk to her, and she validates my life existence. She validates and justifies every decision I've ever made. And if there's anyone in this world I would feel most guilty about disappointing, it's my parents. So to know that I can tell my mom anything and she leaves me feeling fucking empowered. I'm like, fuck yeah. She's like, fuck that and fuck them. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. You know what I'm saying? I feel really good. But then I have therapy. And I'm like, Okay. Okay, cool. Like, maybe we need to rethink some things.
You're going to need all the support in the world when you figure out mama was just having you out there getting ran through.
Guys, I have this amazing ability to very carefully, very, very carefully pick the wrong guy every single time. Every time. It's a skill.
We know. That's why men are offering help. Don't talk to him. Stay away from him. But y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all want to hear us say no. Go towards Chad. Go towards Tyrone. That's the right man for you.
Women do everything but leave. Women do everything but leave. Why the fuck would you write dating on my motherfucking car, bitch?
Can we stop using the phrase, there are plenty of fish in the sea? Because I'm not good at fishing. I catch, release, hook the same one over and over again. Where are the other fish?
Who has an easier life, men or women?
Men for sure.
Men for sure, okay. Who has the highest rates? Who are conscripted into war? And who are naturally providers?
And who set that system up?
I can drop ties in this bitch. Drop like flies in this bitch.
You know, modern women, these are the women that are in college. These are the women that are in college. They're in college learning this stuff. Who set it up for a man to go to war? You know what? You know what? You're right. You're right. I don't want to go to war no more. So we're gonna let you handle it. What would y'all say then? Who has it easier, a man or woman? So let's go with this logic here. When a man says, you know what, we did set that system of chivalry up. How about we take a step back and we don't open doors anymore? How about we step back and go 50-50? Oh, you're not a real man. Well, we're changing the system. Oh, well, you need to learn to step up. So whenever men start walking away and men start changing the system to fit modern society, then all of a sudden they're sassy, they're DL, they're not men. But when a man says who has it harder, well, women do. Men have it easier. Well, why? Because men go to war, they have higher rates of unaliving and some other stuff. Oh, who set up the system to unalive themselves? No one. No one set it up. It just happens when people are feeling down, extremely down. It happens when people are having mental health struggles. Do you hear yourself?
Like they drop open bottles in the ice, like a blizzard. When we drink, we do it right. Getting slizzard, zipping scissors in my ride. Do my ride like 3-6. Now I'm feeling so fly, like a G6.
Bro, do you need help?
Look at me when I'm talking to you before I slap the shit out. Oh, bitch, if you slap me out. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Get your ass up.
And I might catch a lot of hate for what I'm about to say, but listen, I can't talk to no big women. I tried it and I realized ain't no big bitch about to give me no attitude. Cause I'll be real quick to say, take your fat ass to the gym.
I am so convinced that females are good at workout classes because we could just sit back and let someone lead and not feel like we have to be in control over everything. And if something doesn't feel good for a female, we're normally just gonna do a modification. I don't need somebody to tell me a modification to just do a modification or to do something different if I don't like how it feels. A lot of females are also really good at listening and accepting feedback. So when the instructor is correcting form, we will actually make the change. This is a very blanket statement, but I just don't think a lot of men like to give up that control and let somebody else lead. And we've seen those videos of guys doing Pilates and stuff, and they're like moaning and groaning the entire time. zip your lips and just do what is being asked of you. And if you don't like it, do a modification. And while we're at it, one more thing for the men taking group fitness classes: breathe your own air, stay on your own mat, do not get on my mat, don't sweat on my mat, don't come over here, stay over there, do what you're supposed to do. And if you don't like it, just zip your lips or go home. And if nothing else, just vibe with the music.
I mean, if y'all would just go to the women's only gym, then I don't think y'all would have that problem. Oh, wait, there are not a lot out there because y'all don't go to them. Y'all don't support them.
It's pretty girls in my comment section trying to convince me that being pretty is hard. And honestly, I don't understand how being pretty is a punishment. But what I can talk about is how being ugly is a punishment, or being unattractive, okay? Ugly punishment is not being able to have confidence in yourself because people will snuff that out. Ugly punishment is having a man force himself on you and trying to tell people and being told, well, you're not attractive enough for that to happen to you. Ugly punishment is having standards while trying to date and being told, take whatever you can get because you're not pretty enough to have standards, okay? So the women who are trying to convince me that being pretty has a downside, outside looking in, from what I'm seeing, you're allowed to have confidence, you're allowed to have standards, and you're allowed to act however way you want because you're pretty enough for it. So trying to convince somebody that's not pretty by society standards, I know on a personal level, some people do find me pretty, but per society standards, I am not pretty. Trying to convince me y'all had a hard time being pretty, I don't believe it. I don't buy it. It's just attention seeking, okay? And if being pretty was so hard, would you trade places with someone who's not pretty? Probably not, because you know you have more to gain by being pretty than you have to lose. But that's all I wanted to say. I actually wanted to start a new term, ugly punishment. I know most women won't come online and admit that they're not attractive because being pretty is currency for women. And unfortunately, I don't have that currency. So I will admit I am not an attractive woman, but it's okay. That's life. It moves on.
You guys, I see the cutest guy in the gym right now. Is it like weird for a girl to shoot her shot and get his number? Like, I feel like he's so cute. I've never gotten anyone's number before though.
Guys, I know this is going to sound crazy, but most women are dating for a relationship. I know it sounds nuts. They are. And if they're not dating you, it's because they didn't want to date you. You are not the chosen one for them. So that does not mean that they are just looking to mess around and use people's money. It just means that they didn't like you and didn't want to date you. Does that make sense?
No, we know that most women, quote unquote, are dating for relationships. We know that, but their actions say otherwise. Number one, number two, they're taking 4 and 5 dates, of which the man is paying for, of which they need to be rather expensive dates that cost a little bit of money. Can't be coffee, can't be walking, can't be a hike, it can't be any of that. They don't want that. These modern women don't want that. So all of this is on his dime. Let's say you spend $100 each time you go out. You guys go out 4 or 5 times. That's $500. A man could have used that $400 to $500 to invest in his business. Even if the man spent $100, which by the way is a bill or a very significant portion of a bill, there's still another 3 to 4 times that y'all went out and you still couldn't make a decision. You still didn't know if you wanted him. And that man spent $300 to $400 more on you. You need to get your life together.
The man has one pan.
Very nice pan.
I bought this.
Yeah.
It's not even out of the drawer. It's a very nice pan. Look how he's living. Look at this. Some trash. Garbage.
It's not garbage. Those are letters.
Those are garbage.
I really want us to be smarter as women and stop missing out on the love phase of a man. The phase of a man's life when he's grinding, he's building, and he's broke, that's when he wants love, he wants to grow with somebody and build with somebody. Once that phase is gone, it is literally all transactional. It's no more love. If all women want is for a man to take them to luxury restaurants, they will definitely do that, but they understand at that point that it's all transactional. So that means if I do that for you, then I want something in exchange. And typically that means that he wants to clap some cheeks. He realized that it's dinner for time and money for attention. He's totally clear on that, and men don't mind paying for it. That's the really sad part that nobody wants to admit. When he's successful and busy, he's definitely done with the love phase and he's not looking for a wife. His sole focus is to clap them cheeks because when he was grinding and looking for love, nobody wanted him. So he's straight on that. He has figured out how to get exactly what he wants and he don't mind paying for it because he got the money to do it. He can have a different girl every single night if that's what he wanted. So why would he waste his time marrying somebody when he knows that that's going to be the same poo-tang that he going to have for the rest of his life, day after day and year after year? It makes no sense to me. So stop skipping the grinding phase and chasing that finished man. Because by the time he's up, love is gone and all that's left is the transaction.
Have you guys seen how long it took someone to help Irina Zarutska as she was lying on the floor of the train? It took about 1 minute and 30 seconds of her lying there and...
There's also way more women on Earth than there are men. So some of us gonna have to choose to not have one. There's like 3 women to each man. So that's why it's very hard for a man to be faithful. That's why usually when you meet a man, he's either fresh out of a relationship. Like, men are never really fully single. Like, and then a lot of us don't want a lot of them too. So that's even less men. Now we're choosing from the ones that are attractive or they got a good job, or you're going to have to choose somebody you don't really like. So that leaves even less men. So now women are competing for like these select few men. And that's why a lot of men cheat. It's so many to choose from. You always hear that like men don't have options, but at the same time, I'm always hearing like the ugliest dude ever. Like, oh, he cheated on me with like, and it's like 2 girls that are so beautiful. And it's like, how is this happening? It's happening every day because female desperation is a thing too. Like when you've been alone for a long time and like you haven't learned how to love on yourself as a woman, sometimes you just start to accept a lot less, like just for love. That's why you gotta, when you're alone, you have to be cultivating yourself or you're gonna go for like whatever.
I need to know if these are red flags because I'm a sucker. I am notoriously a sucker. If you've been chatting with someone for about 3 weeks because scheduling wise it was just bad, but like you exchanged numbers, like you told him you were really shy, he said that's totally fine, like I'm willing to like go your speed, like you're really cute, I'm willing to like, you know, I'm willing to be patient and go your speed. So we've been texting back and forth. We do have a date scheduled for later this week, but we've been texting back and forth. And I keep telling him, like, if the vibes are off when we're actually like in person, that's going to really suck because everything through text message has been like super fun and flirty and all that stuff. But is it a red flag if, number one, he tells you that he's been manifesting you and he's called you his boo? And there was another thing. Is it a red flag if like there's just been a lot of like text messaging back and forth, like all that kind of stuff, but there hasn't been a first date yet? Because in my head I'm thinking like if we were in our 20s that would be weird, right? But like we both have kids, he has a weird work schedule, I have a weird like schedule, like that's not necessarily, the last one isn't necessarily a red flag, right? But are the first 2 red flags? Like is that like love bombing? I mean, I know context is huge, but I think that's just innocent flirtiness, right?
I mean, you could always go ask. Maybe he's just joking with you. I mean, when women say manifesting and stuff like that, then all of a sudden it's okay to do that.
The men's bathroom has turned into a women's playhouse. What is happening? Why is hers bigger than mine? Ah!
On and off freshman year, but then like we just started talking again, and then he texted me last night and I didn't like see the message, But like, so I texted him this morning and I was like, I did not see the message, but good morning. He just texted me back at 4:30 p.m. I texted him at 7 a.m., right? He texted me at 4:30 hours later. So I said, you know what? I sent a message. It says, thank you for being a part of the program. Unfortunately, your participation has been discontinued due to failure to follow my guidelines. As a result, you are no longer a part of this program. All members are expected to respect the guidelines at all times. I wish you the best moving forward. Sincerely, the Queen. I mean...
You know, this is the hypocrisy of modern women, right? And mama sitting there co-signing it. This is stupidity, mom. You should be correcting this. You should be saying, but wait a minute. If you're saying that he needs to be checking his phone, at 7 o'clock, you text him. He's got plenty of time from 7 to 4:30 p.m., 7 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. to check his phone. By your estimation, how come you didn't have any time to check your phone? This is not a strict program. This is a stupid program. This is somebody that's full of themselves. This is somebody that is emotionally immature. They're unintelligent. This is what we're getting out of college right now. Stupidity. So you're telling me your mom is posting this on TikTok, by the way. You never got on to scroll on the TikTok? You didn't see the message? You never got on the Instagram, Facebook, nothing, none of that? Nobody called, no spam, no nothing. You just never checked your phone for hours and hours? Really? You expect people to believe that? But of course, when it's you expect the man to be on your program, right? You expect him to text you back whenever you want him to text you back. Immaturity.
Out on the floor of the train for someone to come up and help. And to just check in and see if maybe there was a chance they could save her. What if that was you laying there, or your wife, or your sister, or your girlfriend, or your mother? Would you help then, or would you still sit back and probably stare at your phone screen scrolling as if there's something important there for you? The fact that you can't even look around in a room for a man that is strong and that you know would step up and help if something were to go down in there. I know there's still a few out there, and I'm blessed to have plenty of them in my life and in my circle, my community. But for the general public, where are the men? How are you guys out there acting like it's your right and your job and your privilege to be dating and have a girlfriend and start a family when you can't even protect a woman in your presence? It's really disheartening and disgusting to see what is going on, and that the lack of real strong men who will step up and stand up for what is right, it's like too much.
That's what I'm saying. These women be saying stuff, they be talking and saying stupid stuff, but then they're going to come right back around and say, how come nobody's helping? How come nobody's assisting? Where are the men at? When a man says, who has life easier? Women, who has life easier, men or women? Well, the men do. Well, men have to go to war. They have higher unaliving rates, and they have to be their natural providers. Who set that system up? So what's inside the system is protection and provision. Natural provider. Well, you set that system up. You don't got to, ain't anybody asked you to do that. You did. You did. You did. Where are the men at? This is addressed to men. Where are the men at? Why are men not helping? There were women on the train. First of all, God rest her soul. There were women on the train sitting there and they did not help. I saw a post that said, woman, you did not owe her anything. You did not have to help her. I'm not joking. I'm not lying to you. It was like a 4 or 5 paragraph post about the woman being justified in not getting up and helping. Too many times people want you to help. Too many times people want to do this and this and it's not your fault. Nobody blames you. But when it comes to the man, and the man sees a knife, whatever it is, he's supposed to jump. Oh, you know, it ain't nothing. I ain't trying to go to the house. It don't mean that I risk my save. Just go ahead and just jump on it. Just go ahead and drag her off. That's what they expect you to do. But then they say stupid stuff like, who set up that system? Y'all don't truly understand what's inside the system, or you would have never even said that. And of course, on that last clip, you have women in the comments talking, oh, she ate and left no crumb. Oh, that's tea. Oh, it's not. It sounds good until it doesn't. But of course, modern women don't think deep enough to understand that, wait a minute, maybe that wasn't as smart as we thought it was. It sounded like a good comeback, but there was really no substance to it. Because we know in one breath, we're going to talk about we don't need men. And then another breath, we're going to get out here and say, dang, well, why are men sitting around not doing anything? That lady went to the Rose Bowl concert of some musicians, and apparently she spilled a drink on the man, and the man just went berserk on her. Seen the video? Just went berserk. Guess who they started asking for? Men. There was men everywhere. Why did men help? How come the men? Oh, these lame men, they not helping out. They not doing nothing. I told you. Y'all gonna be talking out of both sides of y'all mouth. And men are gonna say, I don't know whether to act or not to act. I don't know whether I'm going or coming. I don't know where you want me to be at. And y'all gonna get mad at that, but it's gonna be your fault. Y'all don't understand that y'all's words destabilize situations. They make situations go awry because your indecisiveness of what you want. And then, of course, shift the blame. Well, how come a man ain't helping? Where's a man at? How come a man ain't jumping and standing to attention and coming and saving the day? Because you said that's not what you want. Well, I didn't meet it in all situations. Maybe you need to get better at communicating. It's not a man's fault.
Do men ask for numbers anymore? What's the deal? I was in this coffee shop that I go to fairly frequently near my apartment. Was getting some work done, didn't have my headphones in, it was really crowded, and I was on like a 2-person bench with like one little table, another table. I was at one table. This guy came up and he's like, oh, do you mind if I share this bench with you? I'm like, sure, no worries. He sat next to me. It's kind of cute, whatever. He starts reading. I'm working on some stuff. Maybe like 20, 30 minutes before I get up and get like a water, and then I comment and say, oh, we're matching, because we were both wearing white shirt and green shorts. This was me initiating conversation, and I thought it was cute, so whatever. We start talking, and I think we talked for like almost 2 fucking hours. Talked for like 2 hours, literally. Like, it was kind of flirty. He mentioned he might go on a date tonight, and I was like, oh, might? What is might? And he's like, because I matched with this girl, but like, I don't know, she hasn't really followed up, but the dating apps are hard. And then I started talking about how, yeah, I find the dating apps hard too. I'm on them, but I have a hard time. Like, I think it's hard for everyone. So we insinuated we're both single. I don't know. We were talking, like, I don't know if I was too casual. I don't know if I was like too nervous and wasn't super blunt. Like, I thought I was making it somewhat obvious that I was interested, like we were talking. And then I was packing up to leave, and I was like, oh yeah, I gotta get going. He's like, what are you doing the rest of the night? And I told him like, oh, I have like standing plans with a friend. We walk out together and we're gonna head in opposite directions, and he's like, I really enjoyed talking to you. And I was like, I did too. And I'm waiting for him to like ask for my number or something, and he didn't. He was just like, I'm a regular here. I'm sure if you're back, you'll see me again. And I was like, maybe I'll come back just to see you. And he's like, I think that'd be great. And then we didn't say anything, and then he didn't ask for my number or anything, which I guess is fine, but I'm like, I don't know how else to do this, guys. I thought that was like a perfect meet cute. Like, maybe he wasn't into me. Maybe he was literally just being nice, and we were just talking for a little bit, but like, it was more than just a little bit. It was like 2 hours. And when the coffee shop wasn't as busy, there were definitely other seats like he could have moved to, I could have moved to, but we didn't. And neither of us like really went back to getting work done. Like, maybe he just wasn't into me. But I'm like, should I have asked for his number? But I'm like, I literally initiated the conversation in the first place, so I didn't. Not sure what I'm supposed to do. What else am I supposed to do? The only other thing that I think maybe threw him was that he was like 10 years older than me, which I don't think is that big a deal at my age because I'm 27. So it's like, I think that age gap is not as drastic as if I was younger, but like maybe he didn't, I don't know.
How are we gonna talk for almost 2 hours and like go back and forth and kind of banter and like, I don't know, and then we don't, then it just ends? Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's okay. Maybe I'll see him again. Maybe we'll just be a friend, and that's okay. Either way, it was a good conversation. I don't know. Hi.
I love you so much. You know that?
And your dad spanks you, huh?
She said no. Daddy doesn't spank.
Spanking you. Don't fucking cover for him.
Daddy spanks you? Daddy doesn't spank you, huh?
Yeah, that's why she literally fucking admitted to.
Why are you talking to your child that way? You ask her a question, she say no, and you say don't effing cover up for him? She's a child. What is wrong with you? That baby can't be any older, and I mean no older than maybe 3, and that's pushing it. Look, fellas, bro, y'all gotta pick better. I'm like, dude, when I see videos like this, man, it's the same way when I see women posting they ain't shit baby daddies. Y'all need to stop sticking y'all meat in these type of creatures. Like, actually. I ain't never been one of those dudes that were like, oh, I want my girl crazy. I want me a crazy. Like the way some dudes be fetishizing, because that can't be me. It cannot. I don't even want mine cursing. At all. Cursing isn't feminine. I don't care. Bite me. But like I was saying, fellas, y'all have to pick better. Stop busting up in any and everything. And you know it, because when that post-nut clarity hit, your ass like, ooh, I can't believe I just did that. We all know how babies are made. Like, we learned this in high school. Stop picking these demons.
So I just looked at her video, and essentially what she was explaining in her video is that it was a 2-year-old clip of that, right? So essentially what's happening in a nutshell is that she had a rocky relationship, to say the least, with her baby daddy, and they split eventually, right? And so she's sending the daughter over there to the dad's house, and because the dad did certain things, as far as she's claiming allegedly to her, then she's thinking, oh, well, if he did it to me, he's doing it to her, which it might surprise you, but that might not necessarily be true. And so when she's at the drop off, we already know that drop offs can get messy, right? Children, that whole thing can be messy, right? And so each parent is probably going to be looking for a text message or an email or a phone call or a video, in this case, that the other person is doing the wrong thing, so they can take that back to court and then say, look, Your Honor, look what they did, right? But I think in her video, she said the court ruled in her favor twice for her to keep the child, right? So she admitted that she shouldn't have done that. She should not have handled it that way. But I think what's happening is, and first of all, she was upset that the dad continues to get visitation rights, right? She's upset that, well, he was violent to me. He did this to me. He put his hands on me like this. Why are we even sending my daughter over there? Well, because there's no proof, unfortunately for you, that the man is really actually doing anything to the daughter. And I know in that video clip, when you're saying, no, don't effing lie to me, you're not necessarily cussing at the child. You're so fired up in that moment that he did it to me, and I'm here to protect you. I'm here to fight for you. I'm here to stand up for you. There's a lot of women that do that, where they'll feel like something has happened to them, and so it's happening to somebody else, and they'll get indignant and, oh, I gotta fight and this and that. And sometimes they be dead wrong. They be dead. Oh, I just had a feeling in my gut, and they gut be dead wrong. No, you just had gas. You just had to go use a restroom, right? We're just making a little joke about the situation. It's very serious, but that's essentially what's happening here. Both sides. And I think she said she had to go through therapy. She's still in therapy. The court required her to take some other classes to get back in alignment with what she needs to be doing if she's going to keep the child. But you guys, both of you really have problems is what it is. And y'all are trying to turn the child against each other. And that's really not a healthy dynamic for the child. You know what I mean? I understand where she's coming from. I understand where he's coming from. But this is not the way to go about it. You sitting up here thinking he's doing something to your child. He's not. And him sitting up here trying to get you in trouble for stuff that you're not necessarily doing. You guys, both of you probably need therapy, intensive therapy. And honestly and truly, if y'all don't cut this out, I wouldn't be surprised if the court didn't find other arrangements for the child.
Let's really talk about this, because I never see black men out in the daytime just doing normal shit, either by themselves or in a group of other black men. They are always on dates. Always. And I be outside. Only time I really see black men who are either with other black men or are by themselves are at the club or at a day party or a block party, a very inherently social space. For example, I was at a food fest yesterday. I went to the Feast of San Gennaro in New York City. I saw exactly one black man who was not on a date or out with his family. And I can assume that they're on a date because it's just the man and the woman. You know what I'm saying? So where are these black men to date? The only times men are coming up to me, approaching me, and getting my number is like at day parties in the club. I don't only want to meet guys at the day party in the club. I want to meet a man, you know, just out doing things that I would naturally do. It shows that we're both interested in the same things. But it seems like men are only interested in those things when they're going on dates. That's just my observation. That's just my observation. So where are they? What do men be doing with themselves and their friends in the daytime that isn't day parties in the club? You let me know.